I'm in here today just checking out this reel. I came in yesterday, I saw it. I said, that's a cool looking little reel, and I'm gonna test it out. Um, I've got grandchildren, and I know children want to fish, and also some adults. It doesn't really matter what you use, it's how you use it. And I'll check out these Zepco slingshots here. They work really well. So I'm thinking of getting that dark blue. I don't have a dark blue. And this Shakespeare. I'm gonna try those out today. I'll take them out there for $16.24. It's not really a bad deal. And then for $9.88, I've caught some big fish on those little reels. I've caught about a 4 or 5 pound catfish on them. So they work real well. They go out pretty good. So we're gonna test this one out today on video and see what it'll do. And back up here at Indian Springs, just want to show you a view at, what is it? This is almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon in March. The water's pretty. And we're gonna go in here and set up. I've got 2 new reels here. One that I purchased this morning, a Shakespeare, and the other one, well, both I purchased this morning. One's a Zepco slingshot, and the other one's a Shakespeare. Just want to see what these reels will do. I like buying things that don't cost a lot, don't break the bank, and then use them in situations where I can compare them to other things that, you know, are a little more expensive or whatever, and see if there's really a big difference. Over the years, I found that it's more the user than the device. 9 times out of 10, the user, if they know what they're looking for, they know what they're trying to do, they can tweak that device to make it work for them and get what they want out of it. So we're out here today, just kind of, it's a little cool, a little windy, a little breezy. It's been breezy all week. So I'm gonna sit here this evening and try to see what we can get out of this creek here. I hear some big fish in this creek. It's coming off that lake over there, and looks like it's an old bridge down there. Old bridge footing, looks like it is down there. So it's been here a while. So I'm gonna see what we can do out here. Heard there was a 10-pound bass pulled out of this thing, and some nice catfish were pulled out of here. So we're gonna see. Nothing beats a failure with a try, right? Stay tuned. This is Jamie reminding you, don't be that guy. Yep. Subscribe to He's Shooting and Outdoors. I'm out here today. We're gonna try out these 2 reels. I got one in the water with some earthworm on it. No need to show you that. This is another catfish bait that works well in salt water and fresh water. Guess what? That's right, small shrimp, raw shrimp. This is a great bait for catfish. It's also a great bait for saltwater fish. So I'm just gonna take one here. What I wanna do is break it in half. Now I'll have one, make 2 bait out of 1. I'm gonna put it on this hook here. Just put it on there and try to make sure it's secured pretty good. Because when I started understanding how fish really bite, they don't bite like we bite, or what you think about biting. You think about, you know, go up to something and sink your teeth into it. They use a lot of blowing, like a suction through the gills. And with that suction, they can pull your bait, whatever you're using, they can pull it off the hook without that hook even touching their mouth. So when you see a lot of that jerking, all they're doing is they're kind of sucking that water through their mouth and sucking that whatever it is into their mouth. So you'll find sometimes you put a worm on the hook and you bring it back and it's hanging half off the hook, but you know, you didn't really see the fish run with it or whatever. That's what they were doing. So you want to secure your bait. I try to cup it at the end of the hook so it prevents them from being able to just suck it off that hook like that. So now, we're gonna take this. I got a squirrel. Something's going on out there. But anyway, take this and sling it over here. And also these reels, when you first get them, this right here, this little button, you got a plus and a minus. All you experienced people say, oh, what are you telling me that for? I'm talking about the people that don't know, like I didn't know for a long time when I was little, what that was for. This is your drag. So you want to make sure it's set properly, because if you don't set it properly, when you go to set that hook and that drag is too loose, it does that. And of course that fish can get off because you didn't put enough pressure to actually make that hook grab it. So you want to set the drag kind of tight, according to your line weight. And when I'm brown fishing, it doesn't have to be that tight to hold the brown. I like to leave it kind of loose and just let it sit right there, and we'll wait. And I used to think that you had to have a big reel, real expensive reel to catch a big fish. But if you really know what you're doing with that drag and setting that hook, setting that line, you can catch just about any size fish you want on whatever reel you want, really. And over the years, I've learned that more expensive doesn't always mean that it's better. Make sure that you're getting what suits your needs. That's the main thing you want to get. So we're out here today. I'm just gonna sit here and kind of wait and see what happens. And I'll be back with you a little bit later. I've got some fishermen over across there. I think these are some professionals. And they're coming out here to show me up. She's got a bobber. She's already asking me, is it good? This is a good spot. So, hey, I don't know. We'll see. When you get the professionals out here fishing, you never know. You never know. So, she's on that side, I'm over here. We're gonna see what happens. This is the kind of action I was talking about when I put that on the hook. Of course, I threaded it all the way on, but see this right here? Get it where you can see it. See how it's kind of halfway on, halfway off? That's the way they'll suck that thing off the end of the hook like that. So, see, I left the bait off there like it was, and he came back to finish the job. He never moved the line enough for me to notice it. So that's something to keep in mind when you're fishing, that they don't bite the way that we bite. They bite using the water, and especially if they're small. Especially the small ones, they'll do that all the time. Bigger fish tend to swim by on something this size, they'll just gulp it up and take off with it. Smaller fish tend to play with it and use that little suction thing to get it off that hook. If they can see it and they're a little bit weary of it, they'll just try to bring that bait to them instead of them going to the bait. So keep that in mind. We bait it up again. I'm gonna go out and see a little bit different, some deeper water. See if we get a different result. Now he's coming back to try to finish the job. He's doing it a little bit more mature this time though. Let's see if I can get it set up so you can see that line. Let's see here. This is on regular line. He just gave it a nice little tug. You can see it, the line is starting to relax a little bit, bringing it back to the bank for me. That means there's more than one at it now. Because I've seen it where you'll have 10 brim, there he goes. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Let's see. Be patient with him a little bit. And, let's see what he does. Oh, now he's over here at the shrimp. How about that? That's where they do it. One bite's over here, one bite's over there. This is a distraction. But the shrimp I'm not really worried about, because if he has any size to him, he'll go ahead and take off with that. I was gonna try to break the ice with this little guy here though, if I could. Looks like he may have Left it alone, but I think he'll be back. It's probably a small piece on there. And now he's just real cautious about coming back to finish it off. We'll see. I just tried to set the hook. Yep, there he is. There he is. Let's see how big he is. Yep, that's what I thought. See? That's the culprit. See if I can get him where you can take a look at it. Yep, that's the culprit. Yeah, can you see that? Yep. Being that he's the first one of the day, I'm gonna put him in here just because he's the first one of the day. And then later on, I'll let him go back to his family out there, get a little bigger. Well, he got what he came for. Let me clean that off. I'm gonna go ahead and rebake that up and send it back out. See what happens. Okay, what'd you catch them on? Okay. Any particular color? What time of day was it? You remember? Okay. I kind of figured that's what it looks like, an early morning spot out here. All right, thanks, man. Same to you. When I'm fishing and I meet some people that have fished this area that I'm fishing now, and they have experience there, I always like to check in with them and see if they had any luck in what they were using when they caught the fish. This young man said that he had caught a 5-pound bass out of this same river that I was fishing this morning, this afternoon. And so I got the time of day and what color bait he was using. He said red and green, so that's something we'll keep in mind as we go on through the season. We'll come back up and try some bass fishing a little later on. Fish on, fish on, fish on. What we got, what we got, what we got? Let's see what we got here. That's what I thought. Catfish. You can tell by the way they fight sometimes what kind of fish you have. Catfish usually fight in circles and they try to go to the bottom. Whereas a bass or a brim, they tend to more or less run up and down the bank and try to get to cover. So kind of figured that's what this had to be. The way he took off with it, I said, yep, that was a catfish. So now I gotta untangle my hook from all this tree limbs and stuff that he brought with him. All right, we'll see what comes up. Fish on, fish on. What we got here? All right, a little bit better, a little bit better. And there he is. A little bit nicer. Like I said, with brim, they usually try to fight up and down the bank, or they'll try to get out to the deeper water. Bass as well. And they look for cover like logs or rocks, something to run into. But catfish, they give you that little circular motion. They're trying to get down to the bottom. So just keep that in mind when you're fishing. Sometimes you can tell what kind it is before you pull it out. I do want to show you this right here. This happened while I was on the phone, and I keep fish in a basket here, but look at this basket. See that? I don't know if you can really see it right there, but something was chewing on it, and see, they were able to get to that little fish right there. It had to be a snapping turtle. I was just keeping the fish in there for good luck, and he came along and chewed through the basket. My basket was out into the deep water. I had that stringer on it, and anchored to the ground. So that's happened to my brother before. We had a snapping turtle come in and eat a fish that was in his basket. So that's why we use the basket. We usually use just the stringers, but you have water snakes and things like that that'll come up. They see those fish sitting in one spot like that, they'll come up there and get it. But snapping turtles are bad about chewing through the wire of a basket. They will. A big snapping turtle can just chew right through that basket, and they'll get the fish because he's motionless. He can't get in, can't get out. So sometimes I just pull the baskets out and put them either in a real little shallow spot that I can watch, or I'll just put them on the bank. But that's something you have to be aware of. In a place like this, you know, there are turtles in here, you know. So that's why that sign says, no swimming, because you could lose a toe or something like that to a snapping turtle. They lurk in these waters, so just be aware of it. Whenever you're fishing here or anywhere else, really, snapping turtles can be anywhere, and they are strong, very strong. I was getting a few little nibbles and then it stopped, so I'm gonna sit here a few more minutes and see what they do. And may have to pack it in. It's kind of chilly out here now. See this real well. I got a bite going on here. Let's see what happens with it. Hopefully he'll do something. He pulled it like he was a man. But usually it's just a small fish. Maybe a catfish or something. But they're not real. They're just not biting real fast because the water's so cold. Water needs to warm up a little bit. So then they'll be a little more active. But this is definitely a good spot to catch a fish, catch brim, catfish, and bass. I can tell that just by looking at the structure in here, all this tree limbs and things like that are in here. So it's definitely a good spot to fish. I'm gonna put a little line out and leave that there and try to redo my hook over here because I hung on a limb, so gotta get that down and put another hook on it probably. He came back to it, so let's see if he's still on there. Yeah, he came back. Let's see what we got here. Oh, look at here, look at here. We were just talking about this too. The turtles. How about that? Look at that. Now that's not what you want. But those things are everywhere. Aggravating. Comparing these two reels, the Shakespeare. Now I've got to try to get him off. The Zepco slingshot. I had to give the edge a little bit to the slingshot. Let's see what we got here. Because I was able to get it to the spot that I wanted it in without having a heavy lead or heavy bait on the hook. And the Shakespeare, the $16 Shakespeare, I had to throw it out a couple of times to get it where I really wanted it. That's another nice one right there. But they both performed very well. Keep him up here out of the way of the turtles. Oh. I just want to share this with y'all. This is what, it's time to retire this fish basket. I took my string off of it, but if you can see, a snapping turtle got in there and got a hold to that fish. And this is how he got in. He just grabbed, he bit straight through the basket here, and again here. Those things they have a tough snout that can get through metal. He was only able to get that one fish, and he took a chunk out of the back of it. And the same thing happened to my brother. We were fishing. He had a brand new basket, but we had a snapping turtle that had a head that was that big around to come up, and he just tore a chunk out of that basket. So what I do now is retire this basket. I got some brand new ones hanging up. I'm just gonna grab one of my new ones. I just wanted to show you that. That's something to be aware of when you're out fishing with those snapping turtles, man. Those are vicious. They got a vicious beak, and they love fish.